welcome to another episode of Tuesday Connect. This is episode 2 of season 5, Tuesday Connect, and we are so excited today. Super excited because this is a ladies only affair.
Hey.
Look at that. Look at that.
Very cool.
This has never ever happened before on this. Well, has it? I don't know.
Maybe?
No, with who?
The both of you.
And John, who never leaves us. No forsakes us. So we are so excited to be having these conversations just as the ladies. Let me take some time to just get to know them. Okay, well, I know them, but you probably don't. So, but I'm sure you know Kigums, right? Hello, Kigums.
Let me not think highly of myself. Let me just introduce myself as Kigums. Although that's my nickname, yeah? The name my parents thought fit for me was Emily Kigume.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm born again.
Yeah. Hallelujah. All right, and on this side, doing a debut, is our very own Petronilla.
Yeah.
Hello, Pet.
Hi.
How are you?
I am good.
Tell us something about yourself now that you are here.
I love to sing. I think we all know that.
Do we? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm an artist. I love doing art. Yeah.
And you work at Mamlaka?
I work at Mamlaka. Yeah, I work in the music department.
And I think it's very befitting that Petronilla is here with us, and I know Kigums sings as well. And I try to make joyful noises, and the Lord, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because what we are going to be talking about here today is scripted reality. And we will take some time to unfold what that is, what it looks like, how it affects us, whether it's good or bad, and what we can do about it. But let me just put a pause there and ask, did you watch last week's episode? Last week, we talked about conspiracy theories. Did a few of conspiracy theories of our own on this stage, especially John. If you have not yet watched that episode, please feel free to go down to our YouTube channel where you are already and look for it and watch it. I'm sure that it's going to be as helpful to you as it was to us. Have you subscribed yet? Please feel free to go down there where you are, to the subscribe button, and subscribe and push the notification bell. Press the notification bell so that you may be able to know when we have new content coming out. But let me start from here. Let me just go ahead and begin, Petronilla, because you are our mgeni muheshimiwa.
Wow.
Hey, kabisa.
Our mgeni. What's mgeni muheshimiwa in English?
Guest of honor.
Guest of honor.
Is that the one? Yeah, guest of honor. Yes.
Yeah.
Guest of
Yeah.
honor.
Would you like to describe what scripted reality is, just for the sake of those ones who are wondering, what exactly are we talking about here?
So the textbook definition, it's an idealistic idea of how things should be. So it's a pseudo, it's a false reality, or a reality that has been constructed by people to present a picture. Yeah.
So basically we have the reality, things as they are, and then we have something that's being painted for us as the truth,
Yeah.
but it's not quite truthful,
Yeah.
right? Kigums, do you have any examples of things that can fall under scripted reality?
I don't know whether Pet does this, but I see a number of singers lip syncing.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
There's a certain lady who is my friend, incidentally, and she used to get songs and lip sync and record herself. And for the longest time, I thought she had the most beautiful voice, until I got to realize that she cannot sing. Like, she doesn't even have an okay voice, just she can't sing. Yeah, and I felt very betrayed.
Yeah, I think because then you portray that you're singing perfectly, but you've mastered the art of, just singing along. So I think lip syncing is one. A lot is also on social media, pretending you've gone somewhere.
Wait.
Like now we can take a picture and
Please, let's do it. Let's do it.
on the stage.
Let's do it.
And then, because we have a fantastic stage.
Oh, yeah, we do.
and then I make this picture very well and say, speaking at the Dubai conference, you know. So
Yeah.
Notwithstanding that there is a KCB.
we'll find an app to clear that car from
Photoshop.
the Photoshop and all. Yeah. So I think those are some of the examples I have. I don't know whether Pet has others, because you know our generation, we don't know about these things.
about these
Yeah.
This just came to mind. I don't know if it falls in this category, but after chicks have given birth, they lose weight in 6 weeks. Like they have flat tummies immediately after giving birth.
My goodness.
And maybe this person went for liposuction. You don't know. Or maybe they're wearing waist trainers. You don't know. You know, and it gives new moms such pressure to go back
I
to...
think Kathy is looking at you like, why did you tell me about this early?
Yeah. Me, I'm here with my kitami and looking at people there who... Thank you. I feel very blessed and encouraged.
We see a lot of that on social media.
Yeah.
We see guys, I mean, you wear all the latest designers, but we don't know, maybe you're advertising for that brand, but we put so much pressure on ourselves to look like that. No, Joy, maybe this person is being paid to do that.
Yeah. So I think we've already begun just talking about what the issue is, but let me take us back a little bit. Just the fact that this is a thing in our society today means that it's very appealing, right? A lot of people have bought into it. A lot of people look out for it, seek out for it.
Yeah.
So what is it that makes scripted reality so appealing to us? What is it that makes it so... What is it that makes it thrive in this generation that we are in?
If you think about, everyone wants to be successful. You want to look successful. So you have to look the part. And if it means going to whatever extent to get it, to look the part, talk the part, then you will do it. So all of us want to look like we have the money.
Yeah.
We are living in wonderful places. We travel in great places. We take kids to the right schools. And so we'll be caught up in that, you know. We'll be caught up in the whole act, to act out what is not the reality. So I think the success trap is a key driver.
Yeah.
And people respect you if you look like, you know, you're dining and wining in certain places.
Yeah,
So
that's true. We tend to be very material.
very
Very material. We always want the best for ourselves. Yeah, that's true. Any other?
We live vicariously through
Hey.
the influencers.
I mean,
you know, I use that
first
word
season
in
and,
contracts only.
Wait. Vitisho via language.
Right? Since you want that life and maybe you can't have it, it's too far out of reach from where you are, from your current situation. You live through them. It's like a dopamine effect. Like when you go through, when you watch their videos, it gives you that boost.
Yeah.
So we live vicariously through influencers, through Instagram. I see something nice. I want to, get into this person's life, then have fantasies about it. Yeah,
that's true. I think another thing that is just clear is that man, in every society that man has lived in, is very discontent.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why there have been wars and stuff like that. That's the reason why people have had slaves. Just discontentment, just feeling like what you have is not enough. You want more. When you have more, you want even more. And when you have more, you want even more. And that reminds me really of just the way that we're built as humans. We're built with an innate desire to want paradise. When Adam and Eve sinned and they were kicked out of the garden, we've always just wanted to go back to the garden where it's perfect.
Yeah.
Where everything that we have ever hoped for, everything that we've ever hoped.
No, it's okay. We know where your relatives come from, so it's okay.
Everything that we have ever hoped. Guys, I had a serious point. Everything that we have ever hoped. But that's difficult to say, guys. That we have ever hoped for.
It's not difficult for everyone. I think it
It's not
just
difficult
depends
for
where
everyone.
you come from.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Everything that we've ever desired, that works. Now I don't even know what I was saying, man. We
Garden of
long for
Eden and the
Eden. We
paradise.
long for Eden. And you know that the thing that really we have not grasped well, and we were actually talking about it yesterday, is that Eden was not made Eden by just the fact that it's Eden. You know that it's beautiful, it has the Tigris and the what, and you know the trees and the flowers, and it was perfect. Eden was made Eden because of the presence of God.
Yeah.
The fact that Eden was beautiful means that it was beautiful because God was there. The Bible tells us that, you know, God would come and dwell with Adam.
Adam.
Again,
He would,
British American.
you know, he would come and dwell with man, you know, and he would find him in the cool of the day, and he would have a conversation with him. The presence of God was in Eden.
Yeah.
And you know, while we're here and there looking and searching for Eden, for perfection, we really, it eludes us that we're never going to find perfection. We can amass and amass and amass and amass, but without the presence of God, then we will never really find perfection. But I digress. So it's really appealing, this whole scripted reality thing,
Yeah.
really appealing, but it's dangerous, right? Why?
You're not living the reality. You know, the reality. And when we speak even about contentment or discontentment, it's because probably you've waited for certain things to happen and they've not happened. And so you play God in your own way. And I know that sounds extreme, but think about it. If my reality is where I am right now, with my struggles, etc., if I act out something totally different, what am I doing? I'm trying to create a story that is not the truth, becoming a very small God in my own way. And so I think it's dangerous in that sense. Why live out a lie when you know the reality is you still are living in whatever situation you find yourself in? And you know, this cuts across. It doesn't matter whether you lack or have a lot.
Yes.
I think it cuts across the whole spectrum. So living a lie is definitely dangerous. You're not living out your truth, your reality at that particular point.
So what you're saying, Kigums, is that scripted reality does not show us everything.
It doesn't show us
It doesn't show
everything.
us everything.
Yeah.
It shows us just what a person or an entity wants us to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it could also be what I want you to see.
Yeah.
But also what you are demanding to see from me.
That's so
So that
true.
gives me
Oh,
also
man.
pressure
Oh, man.
to act out in a different way,
Yeah.
because we have put human beings in a certain,
Yeah.
you know, on a certain high pedestal, and we expect them to behave, act
In a certain
in
way.
a certain way, go to
Yeah.
certain places.
Yeah.
So there's so much pressure that
Yeah.
forces you then to,
Yeah.
you'll go to whatever extent you can go to, just to paint that picture, because that's what you're,
Yeah.
you know,
You're keeping up with the Joneses.
society is demanding.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes I look at, you know, when you watch influencers on YouTube channels and you read comments, I'm keen on reading comments sometimes. And sometimes it's so ridiculous to see the demands that the viewers are placing on these influencers,
Yeah.
so that next time show us, next time. So what if you don't do that, but you're
Then-
forced to do it so that you get the views? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The numbers. Very interesting. Pet,
Yeah.
any thoughts?
They they tend to make materialism look like the end goal. Yeah, because I see the big cars, I see the big houses, and that's what I want, because they keep showing it to me. So it creates a demand in me to desire that, to want that, and to go for that. Yet our ultimate treasure is Christ. That's where we find our treasure.
That's true.
So for a person who has been content, you've been okay living your life, the moment you start binging on watching these videos or scrolling.
So where
I'm now
does she
scared.
come from?
No, how she comes from, where she comes from. That's why she's saying that.
We know her. The scrollations.
Scrolling through Instagram, and you see their big and lavish lives, they're traveling all over the world. it creates a desire in you to want that, and we forget that Christ is our ultimate treasure. That's the one. He is the one we should be seeking above all else.
Yeah. So basically we can say that they don't sell the truth, they sell what's on demand.
What's
Yeah.
on demand?
Yeah. And I mean, we can look at those ones and say those ones are those ones. But don't you think that in and of our own selves, we tend to really push scripted reality as ourselves? For example, I'm married and I have a husband who loves me. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Man,
You should
I have a
thank
husband
God.
who loves me. Yeah. But I mean,
Is
there's
that a scripted reality?
no. This is the truth. As to whether I am lovable is something different. But man, the fact that he loves me is a miracle, and the Lord be praised.
Amen.
But I mean, over a period of time, it's a thing to want to portray a perfect marriage,
Yeah.
right? So that when eventually you hear people are getting divorced, you're shocked.
Yeah.
You wonder, but these people are great, like they have their
They're a
life.
wonderful couple.
Yeah, they have their life. Their children are going to good schools. They're living in posh places. Wonderful. They have wonderful jobs. They look put together, you know. But the things that are happening, huko nyuma, I mean, you don't know. And the problem then becomes that people look at them, at how they are portraying their lives to look like, and they want that.
Yeah.
And so at the very second that you get into a relationship yourself and you see the flaw of that other person, you immediately think, not
This
from
is
God,
not working.
not
Yeah.
from God, right? And so I think in our own ways, then we tend to do scripted realities of our own.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really, really dangerous to both follow and to want to be part of this, right? And so we're used to following what is trending, what is big, materialistic ninis, like what you were saying, the big house, the big cars, to paint a life that seems to show that once we have things, then we're okay.
Okay.
Like
We've made it.
once
Yeah.
you get to a certain level, then umefika, you're there. And I don't know if you've had stories of people who've killed themselves, you know, or have gone into depression
Yeah.
over such things. You know, that they've looked at a person's life for such a long time, and you know they've looked at God blessing these people, and you know the amassing of wealth that has gone on over time, and you know the perfect marriages and all these other things, the wonderful babies and stuff like that. And because of discontentment, they begin to doubt God. They begin to think, God must not love me, because if he did,
Yeah.
as he loves these ones, then things would have been different. Like I wouldn't have been living hand to mouth if the Lord loved me. Because I mean, why does he love me different from this other person? And so I think it's wise for us to be able to take stock of just the responsibility that is on us to be able to not live out scripted reality, even as we encourage people out there to be keen to spot it, to be keen to rationalize it, to be keen to 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 put a pause where the pause is supposed to be, right? So basically, what are we saying when it comes to what are we to do? Because I mean, the society that is around us is that's it. It's full of scripted reality. When, wherever it is that you're going to look, people getting loans to buy vehicles so that they can be seen to be of a certain status. Kigums, what would you say
Two.
to that? What to a person who's looking at scripted reality and thinking, "Oh my goodness, this is what I need in my life right now, and if I don't get it, man, God does not love me, or this life is not worth living, or things like those.
I remember a couple of years ago, I used to work in the banking industry.
Oh,
and
really?
and there's an yes. I used to check the two notes there. Anyway, but and there's an expectation of someone who works in a bank.
You see,
Yeah.
even me, even now.
You see already what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I wish you knew their salaries. So because the expectation is you work in the bank, so the money is readily available.
Yeah.
And most of the questions would be, why aren't you driving? Why haven't you bought a house? etc. And yet, if you look at your responsibilities, they are enormous. So certain things don't make sense at a particular time. Then you get your first car and people are like, oh, wow, okay. Then you drive around and you see younger people than you driving better cars. And, you desire something better. And I remember one time telling myself, even as you drive in these streets of this country, I don't know how that person got their money.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know whether they won a tender, they were somewhere, and got lucky.
Or mubabas.
Or mubabas.
And
Exactly,
mumamas.
exactly. Now they are mumamas.
Are they?
Hey, keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah, so I don't know what your source is.
Yeah.
So how can that be my competition?
That's true.
And I think being content is so important. Probably should be one of the biggest solutions to accepting our realities. And I say this also carefully because there's a way then, even in Christian circles, accepting our realities again sounds like we are to be, not to put in more effort.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's accepting I am here, but this is where I want to be. This is where I want to go.
Yeah.
And I think God really rewards hard work. He really rewards hard work. If you work as unto the Lord, not to please man. In fact, that's what the Bible reminds us. Not to please man, but to work as unto him. And so if we find that godly contentment, then it will help us. But I think accept this is where I'm at, but it shouldn't stop you from pursuing your goals and striving to be better at your place of work, to remain focused. And accepting God's will is hard, because when we speak even about God's will, the truth is there will always be poor amongst us. There'll always be rich amongst us. Everyone has their own journey set out. It's seeking God's face and saying, if this is my purpose, then I will walk in it and I will accept. So probably that's what I can say for now, yeah.
Pet, as we speak about contentment, do you feel that the issue of just the fact that scripted reality has really grown in our society is an issue of idolatry?
I do. Since we have exalted things above God, they become the thing that we want most. Our hearts were created to desire something greater than ourselves, right? So if God is not your God, like if God is not the one that you're exalting, you will exalt the things that he has created, the things that we see, the lavish lifestyle. And we have been pushed since we were young, or maybe since I was young, we were pushed to always work harder for the bigger things.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bad thing, but it made money and the lavish lifestyle the ultimate goal and the biggest achievement of our lives. So these things became our gods. This is what we want. This is what we worship. We even worship God for these things.
For those things, yeah.
Right? Our
Yeah.
relationship with him becomes very transactional.
Yeah.
I serve you so that you can
give
give
me.
me these things.
Yeah.
Or I give so that I can receive
Oh, my.
Right?
certain
Oh, my.
things, yes.
You tithe so that you can increase your salary.
Yeah. And the Bible really rebukes us in telling us that where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be also. And so I think it's a real problem that we have, just the issue of idolatry, just where it is that you have placed your treasure above all things, that will really determine how you interact with the world as it is right now. And so I think a good place to end would be to encourage ourselves as we encourage our viewers, man, to treasure Christ above all things.
Yeah.
So that whether you get to the places where those guys that we are looking at and thinking, wow, I would like to get there, whether we get to that place or not, we are enough. We have enough. And we look forward to great because we know Christ and because we have a relationship with Christ and because Christ is supreme above all things. The Bible talks about how everything else will fade away, right? That at the end of time, none of these things will matter. Bible even tells us that marriage is here. You know, then we get to heaven and then, I know, right? I think we should have at least the connect about that, man. Yeah. But my point is this, to lay our treasures in heaven, where moth does not fikia, rust does not fikia, it will not be stolen, you know, to lay our treasures there. So that even as we live lives here, then we live our life in light of eternity. And that really, really helps us to keep our heads level, keep ourselves level-headed. That's what I wanted to
Kathy, I
say.
think before you
Heads
finish,
level.
as you're struggling whether it's level or not, maybe I want to encourage your generation and the younger ones. I have a 19-year-old, and sometimes she'll be in the living room watching. Okay, I think everyone nowadays this is the act. The fingers are just doing the walking, and she'll make a comment about someone who went somewhere. They're so lucky. And every time I'm asking her, why do you think that person is lucky? Do you know even how they got there?
Yeah.
Are you seeing the story behind exactly what you're seeing? And I find your generation under is with the social media, this issue is going to become really, really, really big. And so just to keep your eyes fixed on the Lord, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. Know that He's the one who gives wealth. He's the one who decides who He will bless. And that can be very painful. But I also like the verse in 1 Timothy 6 that says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it.
Yeah.
But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that.
Yeah.
Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap and into many foolish and harmful desires. Guess what we were talking about earlier? That plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. So I hope that, and it's a challenge to me also because I interact also. We have our challenges. Half of my friends have built houses, and I can start also having a scripted reality, in that regard. I mean, there's so much. There'll always be pressure.
Yeah.
But learn to be content and accepting God's will. Yeah.
Very encouraging. Pet, any last words?
A song. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full on His wonderful face, and the things of this earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace.
Is it possible for us to sing it? I think.
Yeah,
sing
just
tenor.
tenor. Aye.
Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in His wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace.
Amen. I hope that this has challenged you as much as it has challenged us. And as much as it has actually, it has.
Hey, relatives.
As much as it.
Lenny Matei, good job.
It's okay, Kathy. It's okay.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah.
I hope that you've been encouraged by everything, including our laughs and our ngo. And I pray that you will be challenged to sieve everything that comes your way and to look to Christ, to treasure Christ above all things to look at him, his beautiful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory. Thank you for watching us today. We hope that you will join us again next week on another episode of Tuesday Connect. But until then, God bless you and see you.